What's going on, guys? Back again today to talk about one of the first real DC Black Label book. It's the first real DC Black Label book that I've ever read. Like prior to this, I just didn't really give a shit about Black Label. To me, it looked like Black Label was like DC's solution to like, okay, we want to get our continuity in order. DC has been wanting to get their continuity in order since like 2016. And man, they've been driving the struggle bus trying to make that happen. Like they just can't. They tried to do a full-on restart with the New 52 without committing to a full-on restart. Then they decided to go back on that restart without truly going back on that restart. And they're trying to have it all. They're trying to have it both ways. They're trying to have everything. Like they're like, we want to have everything. Everything is in continuity. Everything is canon. We don't have to take anything and throw it out. And when you do, I'm not saying you can't do that, but when you do it, your continuity gets extremely complicated, and it is very off-putting to potential new readers. It makes your entire franchise, your entire comic book line, just look like some overly complicated bullshit that people don't want to bother with. And the Black Label, to me, always looked like their kind of answer to comic book creators and storytellers who want to be able to tell a story using DC characters and not have to worry about continuity. Great, you tell your story, we'll just slap a Black Label, the word Black Label on it, and it's fine. Because they were always considered, none of them, they're not in continuity, I've always kind of looked at them as like, what's the point in reading them then? But I've heard a lot of hype about this one, Batman, Gargoyle of Gotham. First of all, we got to talk about, by Raphael Grampa. He's doing the art and he wrote it. We got to talk about the name, Batman Gargoyle of Gotham. I have a strong opinion here, strong feeling that by the end of this series, I don't know if it's going to be a limited series or I don't know how long this is going to run, but I have a strong feeling that by the end of it, the name of the series, Gargoyle of Gotham, is not going to really have any more significance than it does right now, which is zero. I feel like Raphael Grampa just thought Batman often stands perched on top of like the corners of tall buildings in Gotham, like a gargoyle. Let's call it Gargoyle of Gotham. Like what is? Nothing in here has to do with gargoyles. Nothing. Or the architecture of Gotham. Nothing. So weird name, but all right. But I've heard a lot of hype about this story. People are praising the art, but more, and like they say the art is fantastic, and I agree. I do like the art. It's got almost like at times it reminds me of like Kick-Ass. I think a lot of times. I will say this: the way that Batman is drawn in the bat costume, in the bat suit in this book, I think is awesome. Like I don't know how well this is gonna pick it up, but like that's a pretty sick looking Batman. I'll be honest. However, like Gordon looks relatively normal, but like here's Bruce Wayne. It just looks a little off, the way he draws human people. But it's not bad, and I don't hate it. I actually really do like the art. I found the art to be pretty satisfying. It's one of the stronger things that the book has going on, and that's what people are raving about. But another really big piece of commentary and its controversy is the writing in this book. It's being compared a lot to Frank Miller's style of writing, his Batman Year One, Dark Knight Returns. It's a lot of inner monologue. There's a lot of text to read, and a lot of it is like Batman's inner thoughts. And it's coming off very Grant Morrison. No, it's coming off very Frank Miller-esque. And there are a lot of people, so far, I've watched like several people's reviews. I read it, and then as I've been like browsing YouTube, I see other people reviewing it. I kind of want to hear other people's takes on it. And from what I hear, most people are complaining. They're complaining that it's like this guy is he's just a knockoff Frank Miller. The writing there's so much of it, and it's so just like typical, and we've seen it before, it's nothing special, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, you're not really telling me whether or not it's good or bad, you're just telling me that it's familiar. You're just telling me it's familiar to you. And honestly, from my perspective, sitting here going, the writing is familiar, It seems familiar, it seems similar to the greatest Batman writer of all time. I don't see how that's not supposed to be a compliment. Frank Miller, that is a compliment. All right, it is. Oh, he seems like he's just kind of like copying Frank Miller's style. Good. For those of you who don't remember, prior to Frank Miller revolutionizing the Dark Knight, taking Batman and bringing him into the new era in the mid-'80s, prior to that, Batman was a campy joke. All right? Frank Miller established, he found the lane that Batman is meant to be in. All right? Frank Miller found that. Everyone should be copying Frank Miller. Every single Batman should seem Frank Miller-esque. It should, 100%. All right? If I ever see any campy-ass Adam West 1960s style Batman shit ever again, I will lose my fucking... That shit is lame. Lame. There is nothing wrong with this book. Honestly, it's a pretty good story. It's got a very, like, year 2 vibe. Like, he has not been Batman all that long. He does know Gordon. He has a working relationship with Commissioner Gordon. The police and him are still not very friendly. And, yeah, the villain is this guy who is like, I don't really even know what his name is, but he's just like obsessed. He's this psycho killer, and he's always like crying, and he's obsessed with like very like overly violent old-timey children's cartoons. It's kind of a creepy new villain, right? By the way, this comic is violent. It says 17 plus on here somewhere, which is just stupid because the only thing in here that looks to me like it should be only read by someone 17 or older is the violence. And that's like, fuck that noise. Fuck that bullshit. Like, I was like 8, 9 years old watching Dragon Ball Z, watching those characters beat the ever-living fuck out of each other. Like, it's fuck 17 plus just because it's violent. Get the fuck out of here. That's some wussy ass shit, DC. Looks like everybody over at DC's turned into little baby bitch boys. 17 plus just because of violence. Anyway, it's good because of the violence. Like the action is like Batman and this villain. They're throwing hands. They are fighting. There's blood is splattering. It's good. This is a good book. This is a good series. I'm gonna keep reading it. I want to know more. Like I said, I've said this many times in many other videos. When I am giving a positive review of something, it tends to be a rather short video because it's good. That's all I have to say about it. Look at this piece of artwork. Batman like leaping off the building, like rappelling down the side of the building. This is good shit. Like look at I guess this is what people are talking. Look how much dialogue is on this page. But who cares? Who cares? It's just everything we've seen before. Okay, yeah, but is it good? Is it good? Yes, it is good. Yes, it's stuff we've seen before, but it's good. It's reminiscent of one of, if not the best writers of Batman of all time. That means it's good. I give this book a solid B, maybe even a B plus. Like number-wise, I would go like 8.3 out of 10, which is a good grade. You know, I don't know about you all, but like in my house growing up, if I brought home a B on a test, like my parents were happy with that. That was viewed as a good grade. If I brought home a C, which is like 70s, my parents would kind of like shake their heads in disappointment and be like, you could do better, and you know you could do better. And then if I brought home a D or an F, which we're talking like, 60s and 50s %, that's when my parents were just like, you're not even trying. You're not even trying to get the good grade, right? This guy's trying. He's trying to do something that people will enjoy. He's trying to make something that people will enjoy. And it shows. This is a good book. This is a good comic book. I highly recommend it. The art's great. The story's great. The villain's great. The only complaint I have is I think his new idea for the Batmobile is kind of stupid. Like, it is a completely walled-in metal, like armored vehicle. There's no windows on it at all. He calls it the blind machine. And he drives it because they say there's a bunch of like micro cameras around on the outside. So he drives it by watching what's outside on screens in the interior. It's an idea. I don't think it makes the Batmobile any better. I don't think it adds anything to the story. I think it's just different for the sake of being different, you know. And as we all know, being different for the sake of being different because it adds something, that's great. Being different just for the sake of being different, just for the sake of being unique, that's dumb. That's fucking dumb. So, if you're a Batman fan and you are like me and you don't have your head up your ass and you acknowledge the fact that Frank Miller is one of, if not the greatest writer of Batman comics ever, then you'll probably like this. And also, if like I showed you some samples of the art, if you like the art, you like the way the art looks, then yeah, you'll also probably like it. So yeah, not a very long video. We're at about 11 minutes right now, and that's all I have to say about it. It is good. People are bitching for no reason. People are bitching just because they're like they just think that they're meant to. It's this like they're trying to be artsy and nuanced. Like, oh, it's something that we've seen a million times over. It's nothing. It's like, it's good though. Yes, you've seen it before. It is reminiscent of stuff very familiar to you, but it is reminiscent of good stuff. Therefore, it is also good. So, cool. Raphael Grampa, good job with Batman, Gargoyle of Gotham. Not sure about the name. I think the name's kind of just a throwaway. Like I said, I think he just thought like that's a cool sounding subtitle. Okay. I mean, maybe by the end of it, we'll see how the name is kind of relevant, significant to this series. But as of right now, it's just a cool sounding subtitle. But anyway, that's my quick little video thoughts on Batman Gargoyle of Gotham. Let me know what you guys think. Has anyone else read it? Leave some comments down below. Let me know. If you like this video, please hit that like button. It really helps out my channel. If you want to help out the channel even further, check out some of my other videos and maybe subscribe. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys later.